Indian food, I'm a fan, and I wondered if there's a dataset to reflect that. Turns out there is, containing gulab jam and other favourites of mine, so let's delve into this analysis. And if you're watching this from India, as I know some of my audience is, comment down below and let me know how we did. All of this code is saved down below as a Jupyter notebook for your convenience. First of all, we imported all the necessary libraries of Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib and Seaborn. Matplotlib and Seaborn being visualization libraries, NumPy being for numerical computations and Pandas for data frame manipulation. Which is what we start with. We read in the data frame of Indian food. Now, I got this data from kaggle.com and again we'll include the link in the description. After this, I ran the head, looking at the top 5 rows. You can see we have a few columns here. To see just how many rows and columns we have, we can run .shape. 9 columns, 255 rows. A bit of a small data set, but not too bad. You can see we have the name, ingredients, diet, prep time, cook time, flavour profile, course and more, even the region. And to start with, let's examine this data a little bit closer before we get into some analysis into the region and so forth. We're going to run a .info method. Here we can see there are no null values. Fantastic. We can also look at the different data types here for all of the different columns. Now, if we ran a .describe, we can see some things such as the average or mean prep time, which is 31. We'll take that as minutes. And the average cook time, the standard deviation, the minimum and the maximum. Immediately I've noticed a problem. -1. How can you have a -1 prep or cook time? You can't. So that's going to become a problem and we'll get to that shortly. Next, I looked if there's any null values and as you can see, there actually is 1. So you may have missed up here, but one of these figures was just below 255, which is how many rows there were. So in region, there is a null value. Now let's have a look. So I created a sub-data frame called blank, which pulled from the region column where it was null, and we looked at the head. You can see here the state for the region. Now I just googled this state and saw what region it was, and from that we were able to impute accurately the value. It was north. Here I put in place is true, so it kept this throughout my analysis. Fantastic. We're going through this very quickly, and now we can get to my favourite food, or dessert, gulab jam. I wanted to see what state that was from in this dataset. So we did a .loc method, a locate, to see for that food name of gulab jam, which I stored under the variable food name, what was the associated state and the first value, remembering that indexing starts at 0. And then we just printed it. So I can see, and you could replace this value with whatever you wanted. You can see that the state for gulab jam is West Bengal. Fantastic. Equally, with this same approach, I could find the cook time for specific foods or even find the shortest cook time out of all the meals. Here, I assign it to the variable shortest cook time meal using Pandas to look into that data frame for the cook time column and found the minimum, looking at the name. Brilliant. Now, there is some data cleaning to be done here, as you saw that negative value at the beginning, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Let's begin with some visualizations. Immediately, we ran a bar chart for meal types. So looking at the course, we have value counts. And we use that as a way to order our count plot. So we just wanted a count plot of all the courses. For a second, let's copy this over here and remove the indexing. When running it like this, you can see it shows the distribution for all the meals. Dessert, main course is the highest, very few starters and some snacks. If we do include the index as an order, you'll see it's a lot cleaner and does show it from highest to lowest. We could even go as far to show on here what the value is. So let's go ahead and do that. Bit complex here, but just for the values in the index, we looked at a course, run a value count, and then chuck it in the center here on top. Cool. Again, all of this will be saved down below. Then we looked at another bar chart here, staying relatively simple, but just at the distribution for diets. This probably could have been better as a pie chart, but I know there's some of you out there who really are not fans of pie charts, so I'll stick with the bar. And clearly, now we haven't looked at region specifically, but overall, vegetarian is the highest. This next visualization is a bit more complex. We are looking at a count plot again of region with the hue of flavor profiles. Now you can see here everything I did. Now let's just run it and walk through. For each of these flavor profiles from sweet to sour, we can see by region which was the most popular. You can see throughout most of them, spicy was the most popular, although in the East, sweet was most popular by far. -1. Now I looked into this and I realised -1 was actually being treated as null values. So when there was nothing there, rather than putting 0 or nothing, they put -1. So to do that, we replace the integers and objects of -1 with nan, not a number, a null value. If we run this, and in fact, if we put it above the visualization and rerun it, for clarity, we can see it's gone. Fantastic. Finally here, and you can see we've run through this very quickly, but make sure to check all of this out down below in my GitHub. We're going to run a histogram. We changed the figure size and we did some subplots too here. We did a histogram for prep time with 20 bins and keeping this KDE line true, for the distribution of prep time, and then also the distribution of cook time. Seeing none of them took too long, you can see it takes a bit longer to cook than it would to prep, which is what we would expect. Again, you could break this all down by the different flavors and regions, and I invite you to explore this further. If you did get some value from this video, please do leave a like and comment down below. Now all the best and good luck.